The wall is high, and yet will I leap down. Could ground be pitiful, hurt me not. There's few or none do know me. If they did, this shipboy's semblance hath disguised me quite. I'm afraid, and yet I'll venture it. If I get down and do not break my limbs, I'll find 1,000 shifts to get away. As good to die and go as die and stay. Oh me. My uncle's spirit is in these stones. Heaven take my soul, and England keep my bones. Lords, I will meet him at St. Edmundsbury. As our safety, we must embrace this gentle offer of the perilous time. Who brought that letter from the Cardinal? The Count Milo, a noble lord of France, whose private with me of the Dauphin's love is much more general than these lines in port. Tomorrow morning, let us meet him then. Or rather than set forward, or for 'twill be 2 long days' journeys, lords, and ere we meet. Once more today well met, distempered lords, the king by me requests your presence straight. The king hath dispossessed himself of us. We will not line his thin bestained cloak with our pure honours, nor attend the foot that leaves the print of blood where'er it walks. Return and tell him so. We know the worst. Whate'er you think, good words I think were best. Our griefs and not our manners reason now. But there is little reason in your grief, therefore to a reason you had manners now. Sir, impatience hath his privilege. 'Tis true to hurt his master, no man's else. This is the prison. What is he lies here? Oh, death, made proud with pure and princely beauty, the earth had not a hole to hide this deed. Murder, as hating what himself hath done, doth lay it open to urge on revenge. Or when he doomed this beauty to a grave, found it too precious princely for a grave. Sir Richard, what think you have beheld? Or have you read or heard, or could you think, or do you almost think, although you seem, that you do see? Could thought, without this object, form such another? This is the very top, the height, the crest, or crest unto the crest, of murder's arms. This is the bloody shame, the wildest savagery, the vilest stroke that ever wall-eyed wrath or staring rage presented to the tears of soft remorse. All murders past do stand excused in this, and this so sole and so unmatchable shall give a holiness, a purity, to the yet unbegotten sin of times, and prove it deadly bloodshed but a jest, exampled by this heinous spectacle. It is a damned and a bloody work, the graceless action of a heavy hand, if that it be the work of any hand. If that be the work of any hand, we had a kind of light what would ensue. It is the shameful work of Hubert's hand, the practice and the purpose of the king, from whose obedience I forbid my soul, kneeling before this ruin of sweet life, and breathing to this breathless excellence the incense of a vow, a holy vow, never to taste the pleasures of the world, never to be infected with delight, nor conversant with ease and idleness, till I have set a glory to this hand by giving it the worship of revenge. Our souls religiously confirm thy words. Lords, I am hot with haste in seeking you. Arthur doth live. The king hath sent for you. Oh, he is bold and blushes not at death. Avaunt not, thou hateful villain, get thee gone. I am no villain. Must I rob the law? Your sweet is bright, your sword is bright, sir. Put it up again. Not till I sheathe it in a murderer's skin. Stand back, Lord Salisbury, stand back, I say. By heaven, I think my sword's as sharp as yours. I would not have you, Lord, forget yourself, nor tempt the danger of my true defence, lest I, by marking of your rage, forget your worth, your greatness, and nobility. Out, dunghill. Darest thou brave a nobleman? Not for my life, but yet I dare defend my innocent life against an emperor. Thou art a murderer. Do not prove me so, yet I am none whose tongue sore speaks false, not truly speaks, who speaks not truly lies. Cut him to pieces. Keep the peace, I say. Stand by, or I shall gall you, Falconbridge. Thou art better gall the devil, Salisbury, if thou but frown on me, or stir thy foot, or teach thy hasty spleen to do me shame. I'll strike thee dead, put up thy sword betime, or I'll so maul you all your toasting iron, that you shall think the devil is come from hell. What wilt thou do, renowned Falconbridge? Stand a second a villain and a murderer? Lord begot, I am none. Who killed this prince? 'Tis not an hour since I left him well. I honored him, I loved him, and will weep my date of life out for his sweet life's loss. Trust not those cunning waters of his eyes, for villainy is not without such room, and he long traded in it makes it seem like rivers of remorse and innocency. Away with me, all you whose souls abhor these uncleanly savours of a slaughterhouse, for I am stifled with the smell of sin. Away toward Barry, to the Dauphin there. There, tell the king he may inquire us out. He's a good world. Knew you of this fair work, beyond the infinite and boundless reach of mercy, if thou didst his deed of death, art thou damned, Hubert. Do but hear me, sir. Ha! I'll tell thee what. Thou art damned as black, nay, nothing is so black that thou art more deep damned than Prince Lucifer. There is not yet so ugly a fiend of hell as thou shalt be if thou didst kill this child. Upon my soul, if thou didst but consent to this most cruel act, do but despair. And if thou wantest to go, the smallest thread that ever spider twisted from her tomb will serve to strangle thee. A rush will be a beam to hang thee on, or wouldst thou drown myself? Put but a little water in a spoon, and it shall be as all the ocean, enough to stifle such a villain up. I do suspect thee very grievously. If I in act, consent, or sin of thought be guilty of the stealing that sweet breath which was embounded in this beauteous clay, let hell want pains enough to torture me. I left him well. Go, bear him in thine arms. I am amazed, methinks, and lose my way among the thorns and dangers of this world. How easy dost thou take all England up from forth this morsel of dead royalty. The life, the right, and truth of all this realm is fled to heaven, and England now is left to tug and scamble and depart by the teeth. The unowned interest of proud swelling state, now for the bare-picked bone of majesty doth dog at war bestrol in his angry crest, and snarleth in the gentle eyes of peace. Now powers from home and discontents at home meet in one line, and vast confusion waits, as doth a raven on a sick fallen breast, the imminent decay of rest and pomp. Now happy he whose cloak and cincture can hold out this tempest. Bear away that child, and follow me with speed. I'll to the king. 1,000 businesses are brief in hand, and heaven itself doth frown upon the land.